I decided to pursue hypnotherapy against other healing modalities because it's the fastest, most effective way to bring about change. It's better than any other therapy put together. What I find so fascinating about human behavior is the power we have to change. I find many humans believe they're weak and fragile and easily damaged, but the truth is we're very resilient and powerful beyond belief. And what I find fascinating is when people recognize that, recognize why I'm actually powerful and resilient, they tend to go on to do amazing things and live a greater life. What surprised me about humans is knowing what we know about the mind. I'm so surprised that no school has picked this up and put it into mainstream education, how to make kids dialogue better with themselves, how to make them have higher self-esteem. It surprises me the most that knowing what we know academically, that hasn't been put in the school system yet. I'm doing a lot to change that, but it should have been in there many, many years ago. The biggest mental obstacle facing the world today, I think, is the not enoughness. Not enoughness gets in our own way. It gets right in front of it. It holds us back. It limits us. And there's absolutely no reason for it to do that. How can you improve your life by understanding your behavior? I'm a great believer that you can't fix what you don't understand. You can't heal what you don't feel. You have to understand why I understand I'm always late because I get attention. I understand I eat cake because my grandmother gave me that and I felt loved. I understand why I drink. That doesn't actually necessarily stop you, but when you combine that understanding with reframing and then having a transformational recording, it is amazing in the difference it makes to humans' lives. I started the I'm Enough movement because I realized very quickly in my career that the common denominator of almost all of my clients' issues was this feeling of I'm not enough, I need to drink. I'm not enough, I need to gamble. I'm not enough, I need to take drugs. I'm not enough, so I need more food, more shopping, more praise, more followers. And I realized if the common denominator of our issues was feeling not enough, surely the cure was if we were enough. So I created the I Am Enough movement as is it antidote? Yes, it is antidote. As an antidote to this not enoughness that gets in our way, because we're not born with that belief. We pick it up very quickly. The media has a lot to do with that. But it's actually not hard at all to go back and get what we were born with, a sense of our powerful, profound enoughness that's hugely motivating. The top two indicators of healthy self-esteem is that you don't give away your need to feel good about yourself. You understand it's your job. You don't outsource, okay, who's going to make me feel good? Who's going to praise me? Who's going to look after me? Who's going to help me? So the first one is that you take full responsibility. Responsibility means an ability to respond. You take full responsibility for how you feel, and you take full agency for what is going on in your life. It's up to you to fix it, to identify and fix it. The three myths about self-esteem is that someone else can give you self-esteem. The very word self-esteem. If I said, hey, I hold you in the highest esteem, that's what I think of you. Self-esteem is what you think of you. So number one myth is someone else can give you high self-esteem. They can't. Number two is that material things, looking better, buying nicer clothes, having nicer things, having a bit of surgery can give you high self-esteem. It can't. And the third myth is that who you are, like being the boss, having a great job, being a billionaire can give you high self-esteem. It can't. The only thing that can give you high self-esteem is you. There is a difference between motivation and self-esteem. Somebody with no self-esteem can be motivated. Hey, I've got to pay my bills, so I'm going to be motivated to go to work. I want to get that person to date. I'm going to be motivated. I want to get a prize. I'm going to be motivated. So you can be motivated without high self-esteem. When you have high self-esteem, you have more motivation. You take action more. People make this classic mistake of thinking motivation will turn up It's actually the opposite. When you take action, you become motivated. You don't have to have high self-esteem to take action. But if you have high self-esteem, you take more action, more positive action, and you get better results. Look at the negative thought and always find the opposite. You can always flip a thought. What's the opposite of I'm not good enough, I'm inadequate, I'm an idiot? Well, we know that. It's I'm smart, I'm good enough, I'm worth it. So the first step is to identify your negative thoughts, identify limiting beliefs, identify blocking thoughts, then flip them over and tell yourself the opposite. You might go, it's not true, but saying, I could eat a horse isn't true. But when you say that, you eat more. Saying, I'm easily full, I like healthy food, I got a small appetite. You can make anything true by repetition because the mind learns by repetition. A belief is nothing more than a thought you think a lot, but we are our thoughts. We make our thoughts turn around and make us. We make our beliefs, and then our beliefs turn around and make us. And then we have something called confirmation bias, where we're looking for proof of what we have chosen to believe. So somebody with healthy self-esteem simply believes better beliefs. I'm smart, I matter, I've got something to offer the world, I'm really good with people, I'm great at solving problems. You can choose what to say. Somebody with high self-esteem would never say, I'm an idiot, I've got rocks for brains, I've got a terrible memory, everything I touch falls apart, because that's somebody with low self-esteem. So someone with high self-esteem takes full responsibility for the words they use, the language they speak, how they describe themselves. They tend to stay in a positive place with positive words because your words shape your reality. And you can tell somebody who has good self-esteem because of the very way they talk about themselves and their life and how they talk about others too. I think to grow you do need to have some self-awareness. You know, self-awareness means you're becoming aware of how you act, who you are, what you're meant to do, what are your gifts. And it may be hard to grow without self-awareness. You may do something, you know what? I tried that and I realized I'm no good with math. Years ago somebody gave me a job as a TV presenter and I realized how hard it was to get excited about banana muffin. I thought, wow, I'm never going to do that again. That awareness of this job is definitely not for me. I'm much better at doing something more cerebral. We need to be aware of both our gifts and the things we're not good at. We need to be aware of our attributes and our flaws to go forward in life and make the very best of ourselves. So when you have awareness and you pay attention to that awareness and learn from it, that is one of the first steps to phenomenal growth. I admire Oprah Winfrey because she came from nothing and has done a lot of good in the world. I admire Tony Robbins for the very same reason. I admire Eminem because against all the odds he became a phenomenal rapper, and he's absolutely a genius. I admire anyone like Rihanna, who's come from nothing, who's had the odds stacked against them. Rihanna had terrible migraines in her childhood. So anyone who's out there doing well, who started with nothing, even Ed Sheeran, who started with nothing, had a disadvantage, had illness or sickness, or being told, well, you can't make it, you don't look right, and they've made it. They are my role models, and they really should be everybody's role models. There are many, many therapists that I've really, really admired because they made a difference in the world. I think my personal inspiration comes from my dad. My dad used to say to me all the time, helping people is what life is all about. And try to imagine everyone has a sign on their head saying, please make me feel important, please make me feel I matter. That was his motto, that was his very reason for living. And he showed me every day that he got immense joy and deep satisfaction from helping other people. It was almost a given that I too would go into the business of helping people because we learn what we live as children. What I learned and lived was seeing the immense joy and satisfaction my father got from helping others. In fact, I was with him when he died and he said, I've had a wonderful life. I've had the best career ever. He didn't talk about his marriage too much, but he said, I've had a wonderful life. I've had the best job in the whole world. And so by osmosis and by his very deeds and actions, I learned to have a career where helping people was what I did, because I always believed that that was the whole purpose of life, and I still believe that today. I would measure success by how happy I am. And I think that's how we measure success. If you go to bed at night and wake up in the morning liking yourself and indeed liking your life, I would say that is phenomenal success. I think having a career that you love, having a relationship that you love, being able to work on those things is a definition of success. I know that to be really happy, you need 3 things: a career that you love, a relationship you love, and something else just for you. That could be collecting butterflies or bees or painting, whatever it is. So success is different for everyone, but really success is defined by how happy are you, how satisfied are you. Success doesn't mean that you never fail. The definition of success is really how quickly do you get back up again. And do you love your life? I wake up every day and go, I love my life. I love my life. I'm grateful for my life. And I think that's one of the definitions of absolute success. You can have everything and be miserable. You can have very little and be blissfully happy. And happiness is really a choice. Happiness is very much an inside job.